Okay, so where I was at is people would come over and they would get me drunk. You know, they would get me, we get stoned. And, like, a lot. We'd smoke weed all day long and drink all day long. And that was it. Like, I started experimenting with a little bit of other drugs. They weren't illegal at the time. It was called Salvia divinorum. And I remember I took a bong hit off of it, and I was just gone. Like, I drooled, and it was bad. So anyways, things progressed like that for a while. I was dropped out of school, just getting loaded up every day, all day. And then, like, because I was always kind of a chubbier kid growing up. So I started to lose weight, you know. And then I met these guys. I forget how old I was. I think I was still 16. I met these guys and they were coke dealers, like big time coke dealers. And that wasn't just what I was thinking at that age. Like looking back with all my experience and the things I've done in the game, in the game that I've ran, like I still look back and yeah, they were a pretty big deal. Like, I thought it was cool because they drove Escalades and they were kind of young. They were in their 20s. They owned their own house. Like, it was a nice house. And so I was kicking it with them every night. Every night. They would come get me at like 8, 9 o'clock at night. And we'd go and I'd just do coke, line after line after line after line. And I would be so freaking high. And like, that was my first experience with cravings and jonesing. Was I would be doing this coke and I just want more and more and more and more. I'm only a 16-year-old kid, you know. I was only a 16-year-old kid and I just kept getting high all day long, all night long. Anyways, they would take me home at like 10:30, 11 in the morning. They would give me some money, like, because, I don't know, I guess it's just like my company. They would like give me like a $20 bill or whatever, throw some coke in it, wrap it up, and give it to me. So I'd go home and I'd do that coke, and then when I come down, I'd go to sleep, and then I'd wake up at like 7 o'clock at night, get ready, and they come get me, and we do it over and over and over again. And that's when I started doing like ecstasy, like a lot of ecstasy, like 8 or 9 pills a night, triple stacks, like a lot. Anyways, I kind of skipped a part. Between my heavy drinking and marijuana use time was this little time when I was hanging out with these people. We went up to this cabin up at Bear Lake, one of the guys' family's cabins. Me, him, his best friend, and my boyfriend. No, me, him, his girlfriend, who was my best friend, and my boyfriend. Got that straight. 2 girls, 2 guys. So we went up there, and I remember drinking one of those little bottles of Jaeger by myself, like a beer. And then I ate an eighth of mushrooms, and then I asked my boyfriend, I says, do you have anything else? And so he busted out this little tin he had, and it was full of pills. So I started smashing them up and snorting them. Like, I had no idea what they were, how strong they were. I didn't care how much I was doing. Looking back, I snorted probably about 5 or 6 oxys. Oxycodones. I mean, not oxycodones, Oxycontins. And then we ended up smoking a bunch of weed. Well, I went down in the kitchen to get something to eat. It was raviolis, and I put it in the microwave. And while they were cooking, I fell. I hit the ground, and I woke up to being given CPR. Like, I'd overdosed, you know? That was scary, and it didn't slow me down, though. Okay, so and then I started doing the coke, so that's where I'm at now. So I was doing the coke with these guys, and I started doing ecstasy, and I lost my best friend. She wouldn't hang out with me anymore because I was choosing drugs over her. That was the first relationship I lost to drugs. One of many. And so I was doing this coke really, really bad, and, you know, shit just got really bad, and then I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden it stopped. I don't know why it stopped, but it did, and I got this job framing houses, and that was cool, you know. I was 18, I got the job on my 18th birthday, and then, like, a few months later, I found out I was pregnant, which was, you know, like, that's not good. I mean, like, I wasn't married. My boyfriend was in jail, you know. And anyways, a few months later, I ended up miscarrying. And it was right after that I started doing meth for the first time. I remember I was hanging out with these people. I knew they were tweakers. This guy that I don't know why I liked to hang out with him. He was a loser. And I fell asleep at where he was at. It wasn't, he was like, where he was like, it was his tweaker pad. His tweaker pad. And I fell asleep, and I woke up and he was gone, you know. And there was a big bald guy. I'm going to leave all names out of this, just out of respect. And he asked me, he says, do you want to wake up? And I said, I'd never done meth before, nothing. I knew what he was talking about, though. I said, yeah. Anyway, so the video's getting long again, so I'm going to stop it and then restart real fast.